Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Reactor. Let's see if we can figure out this hymn. The Cogitator's green screen lights up as you approach it and displays the flashing message. Pilgrim, only the words of the first galvanic hymn will reveal to you the gifts hidden behind the veil of knowledge. Now chant with me. Let us sing this canticle too. The device's keyboard lights up, clearly expecting you to enter the rest of the verse. So typically prayers would be directed towards the Omnissiah, but the motive force has been brought up quite a bit. I'm going to go with the Omnissiah. So the Omnissiah from whom the holy discharge springeth forth. Verse 2 calls to you, Pilgrim. Let us fill our souls with gratitude toward. I have no idea. The hallowed contacts whose touch conducteth the current. So I don't know if I'm getting this right, or if it's just pushing me forward regardless. Now finish this prayer, Pilgrim. May the unity of the sacred charge's power. I'm leaning towards memory of ages or reason. The immortal reason that hath created the spark. Only one who has learned the path of our Cenobium is worthy of its gifts. Walk the path of the enlightened, absorb their age-old wisdom, and sing with me again. The screen goes dark in disappointment. Okay, we'll come back and try that. I'm going to go around and look at all the inspection points again.
Always keep your eye on the prize. Is there money to be made?
Okay, I think this is one of the clues. Thanks for the first verse that I got right.
Keep your wits about you.
This is talking about the Omnissiah and discharge.
I always have a backup plan.
Okay, reason. That's another hint for the third part of the verse.
I always keep my options open.
So Omnissiah, reason.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust. Is there money to be made?
Alright, all those are just for nomenclature.
Let us not dawdle.
Alright, so the first one, the Omnissiah from whom the holy discharge springeth forth. Now this one, we didn't find a clue for. I guess I could just try it 5 times. So the twin poles of opposite signs that herald the motion of the current. Hey, I got this one right too. The immortal reason that hath created the spark. By Omnissiah. The splendid resistors that conceal within them the rite of transfiguration. Still not right. Alright, the Omnissiah. The watchful breakers that protect us from the sacrilege of the short circuit. Alright, still not right. Whoops, clicked on the wrong one that time. Alright, the Omnissiah. The arcane key that closeth the circuit. Hey, we got it right! A solemn binaric trill comes from the cogitator. Verily so. A pilgrim who has learned our ways is worthy of the gifts of the enlightened. Yes, they are. Arc rifle. And pinpointing visor. 9 range, 10 to 15 damage. When the wielder hits a target with the arc rifle, they also attack all enemies within 2 cells of the target. Sweet. And pinpointing visor grants a plus 15% critical hit chance to range attacks against enemies with less than 50% wounds left.
I always have a backup plan.
I wonder how that works with the arc rifle. If that crit chance is only for the initial target, but if it spreads to the other targets as well. Or if they also have to have less than 50% wounds to get the crit. In other words, does the crit chance have to roll once or multiple times? The long last still seems better. I'm not sure. It'll all get replaced eventually.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Alright, let's try this. The machine alter accepts the contact circuit. The machine alter accepts the contact circuit restoration hymn with a deferential whir. Dar Impulse 6. A shortish, muscular man wearing the scarlet colors of the priesthood of Mars steps into your path. The wrinkles on his cheeks and forehead point to his propensity for frequent outbursts of fierce anger, but right now he is showing no signs of aggression. Glowing blue patterns of electric tattoos, or electus, show through his oddly bluish tinted skin. The man's eye sockets are dark and empty, yet he turns his face straight toward you with no hesitation. He has a sharp, screeching voice, not unlike a bird's cawing. May the charge of the Omnissiah's mercy persist in the hands of the faithful. May the motive force persist in their batteries. Make the sign of the Aquila. The Emperor protects. The man responds curtly, as if giving a military command. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. The hallowed Electrodynamic Cenobium receives you, Pilgrim. I am Dar Impulse 6, a servant of the motive force and the praetor electroid of the sacred monastery. Pascal bows down humbly before the man. A trill of binaric signals comes from his vox, which the praetor responds with a solemn gesture of blessing. Pascal turns to you and says, "The rank of praetor electroid is a sign of high standing within the electro priest fraternity. To have been granted an audience is a great honor." You have the honor of hosting the Rogue Trader of House von Valancius. I urge you to follow proper etiquette when interacting with the eminent bearer of the sacred warrant. Within these walls, worldly titles are nothing before the motive force. Your deeds, however, speak far louder than titles, for your path here is sprayed with the blood of desecrators. Dar Impulse 6. It was to you, was it not, that Logis Abel came seeking an interpretation of his data trance? Yes. Tech Brother Abel arrived here to engage in a magnetic meditation that would help clarify his visions. Unfortunately, the heretic's machinations prevented us from completing the ritual. The esteemed Logis volunteered his help in defending the monastery, but contact with him was lost soon afterward. Tell me more about Logis Abel. We did not speak much to each other. He preferred to devote his time to solitary reflections in his chapel. The Omnissiah has given Tech Brother Abel a gift of great insight, which allows him to discern each individual facet of existence, rather than the overall view. This makes his logic different from that of other people. His mind has always been able to combine facts and conclusions into harmonious wholes that were nothing short of beautiful. Many among my flock found his sermons poetic. What kind of visions was he receiving? The Omnissiah's revelation was encrypted with great meticulousness, which indicates its great importance. Grasping it fully is beyond my ability, but a single touch was enough for me to realize the enormity of the secret concealed within. Or more exactly, the secret design, which was how Tech Brother Abel referred to it. His mind had discerned in the world around him traces of some grand silence that he wished to comprehend. Logis Abel is dead. Sad news indeed. Tech Brother Abel was chosen by the Omnissiah to be a comprehender of great mysteries. May his spirit's motive force come into being anew in the fount of the miraculous fusion reactor. I have a few questions about this place and the people in it. Truth is like light, and blocking its path is criminal. The Praetor Electroid nods majestically. Who are you? The hard-working servants and dwellers of this Cenobium. Electro priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Corpuscari did us a great honor by entrusting into our care the sacred relic around which the hallowed Electrodynamic Cenobium was built. What precisely do you believe in? We've devoted ourselves to the worship of that aspect of the machine god which is known as the motive force. It is the blessed divine spark that creates impetus in the universe. The Omnissiah, in his mercy, gave the world the gift of the motive force. We follow its impulses in order to increase it, bring it to laypeople, and protect it from unholy hands. The relic that this monastery protects provides the entire planet of Rykad Minoris with the blessed motive force, and we, unworthy though we are glad to serve the ancient machine that dwells in this place. Tell me more about your relic. It would be pointless to describe the miraculous fusion reactor. Only through beholding its ferocious power can one comprehend its blessed essence and fear the might of the Omnissiah. Its core was found 4,000 years ago and delivered to Rykad Minoris by the holy warrior of faith Lock Impulse 1 during one of his campaigns. Its sacred spark has not gone out for an instant, and the walls and power units of the Cenobium have been erected around the relic in order to protect it from ignorant laypeople, as well as protect them from its formidable might. Pascal keeps his solemn silence, but the quick clicking of his mechadendrite's claw betrays his excitement at being so close to the sacred Archaeotech. So Archaeotech is usually ancient, advanced technology that can't be replicated by the Imperium in present time. Yeah, an incredibly rare and powerful piece of technology from humanity's ancient past. You're not like other members of the Adeptus Mechanicus I have met. Our faith imposes a duty of obedience on us. Every Electro Priest is given numerous Electus that combine in a blessed Voltagei circuit, allowing feeble flesh to withstand the might of the motive force. That is why our skin glows with its light, and our eyes boil and melt when we are ordained. The Omnissiah's tears is what we call this phenomenon, this dying away of unworthy flesh. As we shun the layperson's primitive means of looking at the world, we gain the ability to sense the motive force around us with our entire bodies. I understand everything. That's a bold statement. I am pleased to be the conductor of truth. But why are you calling me a pilgrim? Only those laypeople who desire to experience the motive force are allowed to cross this monastery's threshold. All others are profaners and criminals. You do not belong to the fraternity of Electro Priests, but your intentions are good. If you are not seeking the Omnissiah's wisdom, then it was the motive force itself that brought you here to find it. What happened here, and how did you manage to survive? When the heretics descended in droves upon the Cenobium, we gave battle, but the unholy foes buried the Omnissiah's warriors under a mass of their bodies, thus extinguishing the defenders' sparks of purity. It was then that I ordered my few surviving brethren to retreat to the monastery's secret chambers. Upon taking refuge there, we began to destroy the blasphemous intruders in surreptitious ways. Alas, as fiery as my brethren's anger was, I had no right to permit them to die in honest combat. But the task of taking back our abode still lay ahead for us. I must commend the skill with which your secret chambers are concealed. Hear a tinge of wounded pride in Heinrich's words, as if he is upset about failing to discover the Electro Priest shelter. Your choice of tactics was wise as well. There's no point in losing more lives in the massacre than that the cultists wrought. The leader of the heretics fought her way into the ark wherein dwells the miraculous fusion reactor. She is trying to desecrate the rite of operation with her unholy litanies, so that the relic may be corrupted and the world of Reicad Minoris may perish in a fount of fire. But my brethren, in their magnetic meditation, are hampering her efforts by chanting access request prayers in unison, thereby suppressing the commands that the blasphemers enter. Praetor Electroid nods towards his entranced comrades. This holy place will be protected against sacrilegious practices. I swear it. In the monastery, I was attacked by people who looked like Electro Priests. That is a lamentable mistake. We knew of no help that was on its way, and were not expecting to encounter any allies in the monastery's chambers. But I see that you are alive, and I mourn the senseless deaths of my brethren. I wonder if you would have so touchingly mourned the Lord Captain's death, or if such sentiments would have only been awoken by the sound of our void ship delivering a punitive strike from orbit. My enforcers and the governor's guards can help you reclaim the monastery. I cannot allow this. Laypeople are forbidden from visiting the monastery, and only a select few are allowed to behold the Ark and the relic within. You and your retinue are pilgrims of a special status bestowed by the Emperor. However, should any soldier unblessed by the Omnissiah cross this monastery's threshold, I will deem them a heretic and have them put to death. Confirmed. The presence of laypeople on monastery grounds without the Praetor Electroid's blessing will be regarded as a sacrilegious violation of the holy rite of operation. Heinrich opens his mouth for a second to say something, but changes his mind and quietly clears his throat instead. Cassia nods thoughtfully. Yes, I see. House Orselia follows the same rules when it comes to outsiders. A true person of faith would never have hidden and let the enemy take over their temple. The Praetor Electroid's face becomes stone-like. My body is brimming with the fury of the motive force that wants to be unleashed upon the heretics who have dared to desecrate my temple. But this is pride, and it is incompatible with my rank and my duties. I wish to get to the Holy Reactor. The Ark is hidden from pilgrims' eyes, but considering the extraordinary circumstances of your visit to this monastery, I grant you that right. The hall that leads to the High Reliquary has been barred by the enemy, but I'll open a secret path for you. Enter the Ark and experience the motive force, pilgrim. We will pray to the security systems that they may refrain from punishing you for your intrusion. The time has come to prove your loyalty to the Omnissiah, Praetor. In the name of the God of humanity, strengthen my numbers with the faithful eager to fulfill their duty, so that they help me punish the blasphemers. The Praetor stays silent for a long time. Finally, he lets out a deep sigh. Thank you, Pilgrim, for reminding me of our duty to humanity. I'll send the Cenobium's warriors to your aid, if that is what his warriors want me to do. Heck yeah, we got backup.
Keep your wits about you.
Speak, Pilgrim. I must press on. May the charge of the Omnissiah's grace persist in the batteries of the faithful.
Is there money to be made?
Alright, to the bowels of the monastery. Oh, cool. We got Praetor's Aid, which gives 10 armor.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
I always keep my options open.
Oh, it's Aurora. The face of the woman who stands before you is hidden behind a grotesque barred mask. Yet the voice pouring out beneath it belongs to someone else. It is the husky, somber bass of a void wolf, a boarder of ships. How predictable your path is. How static. All the possible deaths you have skirted, only to perish here, in the fiery tempest that will mark the final dawn. The woman turns her mask to pass go and gloats. You've arrived just in time, little cog. The schismaticals use your regalia like a mask to subdue the reactor. Pascal's vox rasps musingly. A cog. I cannot comprehend why apostates try to insult me by comparing me to the sacred symbol of our faith. It is irrational. His visor lights up like a crimson herald of bloodshed, and his drilling mechadendrite whirs viciously as it readies to strike. The sacred cog grinds all corruption to dust. From the dust, I will build order. Silence, heretic. Your crazed preaching will not touch my mind. You cling to your blindness so desperately. You think it will protect you from the blinding radiance of the truth. The woman's voice breaks and shifts to a different pitch and timbre. A martyr's voice, young, fervent, and in pain. Time has all but run out. I can hear the fist of the future knocking on the door of the present. Choose quickly what you want to be when it walks in. A blind slave to what is gone, a faithful servant of what is to come, or a corpse. I take some time to wrest from you the details of the future that the cult prophesizes. Hopefully, when we're done, what's left of you will still be capable of coherent speech. What you'll be is a living torch blazing for his glory. Argenta's voice burns with pure hatred, and trembles with impatience to make the promise come true. Ah, Cassia squints and looks away. Yellows, reds, violets, oranges, blues. Wild colors that scorch the eyes. Where the motley masks end, nothing but a colorless void remains. Who are you? My name is known to you. I am Aurora, servant of Uralon the Cruel, and the spark of the final dawn that is destined to set Rykad Minoris ablaze. A great path for one who is born into the Imperium's bondage, must shun her predestination in favor of the changes promised by the edge of daybreak. Whose servant are you? Is Uralon a demon, or just another heretic? Resounding laughter comes from behind the mask. Your flippancy is so amusing. Why, you have no inkling of the chasm that separates us. He is a prophet who foresaw our impending doom, and who graciously bestowed upon us the right to choose a different path. He is a shard of ancient wisdom from a time before we were slaves to our bitter predestination. Rogue traitor, I can't wait to close this creature's mouth with the seal of death. Are you saving this glorious deed for yourself? The Edge of Daybreak, is that your unholy patron? Our teacher, our savior, our merciful God born in the immaterium out of the woes of those laboring under a legacy of ignorance and servitude. The woman's face is hidden behind the mask, but there's a sharpness to her voice that convinces you that her face is contorted in a grimace. And he remembers you, Donald von Valancius. Your little purge by fire, will not make you invisible to the Weaver of Destinies. So what is this final dawn? It is all your followers ever talk about. Salvation from a death whose name is yet unknown, but whose approach is sensed by many. Soon it will claim every inhabitant of the Cronus expanse. Do you think anyone will come to our aid when cataclysms shake our homes and planet-wide genocides are unleashed? Will the Emperor help? Or the idol of iron they call the Omnissiah? No. We will die alone and abandoned. Only one deity is promising salvation, the Edge of Daybreak. Mercy and salvation will come to all who believe in him and purify their souls in the light of the final dawn. What servitude are you talking about? What predestination? Everyone born in the Imperium has a predestination. The soldier, the commoner, the administratum official, the technomat, the void rat. All are consigned to serving the Golden Throne and then dying a grim death for its glory. The Imperium never thinks twice about treating people as exploitable and expendable. After all, they are the most easily replenished of all resources. Even your path is predestined, rogue trader. You will inevitably perish on your quest to expand humanity's domain, and your end will be particularly grim and ghastly. The fruits of your efforts will be enjoyed by others, the eternal aristocrats, who dwell on Mars, Terra, and other safe worlds. They insist that it is the natural order of things, but that is a lie. It is an order that benefits them. But why are you blinding people? You think they are blind. They see far more than you do. Your reflections in mirrors blessed by the energies of the Immaterium. The Edge of Daybreak reveals to them visions of true existence. It gives them glimpses of what is to come. The eyes lie. Our erstwhile masters have taught them to see only what is inconsistent with the lies they tell. The gift we give is that of true sight. The woman takes a glass prism out of the folds of her clothes and looks at you through it with a mocking chuckle. The prism's bluish-pink sheen imprints itself on your retinas, as though it had been burned into them. Guess what I see when I look at you? I think that is enough heretical talk. Conversations about truth always frighten ignorant minds. Your people wanted my head. Why? Brother Twilight, known to you as Conrad, marked you as a target. Your foiling of his plan sealed your death warrant. It is now a predestined certainty that changes can no longer affect. Are you trying to blow up the reactor? I am lighting the spark of the final dawn. Sometimes the future revealed in the Edge of Daybreak's visions is fragmented between the facets of possibility, and the view is unclear. I have glimpsed the importance of this place for what is to come, and I have solved the puzzle. The flash of purity will transform this world and bring it closer to the Immaterium, in which it will be reborn. False believers will perish in the fire, whilst the faithful will find their salvation and the new form in it. You'll never tame the spirit of this ancient and noble machine, ignorant layperson. It does have a vile temper, but I have assistants who can help tame it. The woman nods casually toward the maimed Electro priest whose hands are affixed to the control panels with steel stakes. One of the servants of the Omnissiah casts a tortured glance at you, his voice trembling with horror. Blasphemous spirits have crawled under our skin and into our sacred iron. Take the motive force of our bodies, I implore you. We do not wish to offend the Omnissiah with the sacrileges our hands are committing. They resisted for a long time, but now their bodies and souls belong to these schismaticals. Line after line, the scrap code they produce will awaken the reactor's unyielding spirit as well. And it too will yearn for change and freedom. In the name of the God Emperor, die, foul creature. The woman's voice becomes thin and brittle, like that of an innocent child. Execute them in the name of the Edge of Daybreak. The Electro priests rip their hands off the command panels, rending their flesh on the stakes that pierce them. As their schismatical controlled bodies are imbued with the motive force's radiance, all the unfortunates can do is scream in horror and plead for a swift death. Aurora begins muttering an unholy litany in broken Gothic. You cannot make out her blasphemous words, but the name the heretic keeps repeating, the Edge of Daybreak, digs into your hearing like a blade into defenseless flesh. Its sound is almost physically painful. It spawns strange and impossible phantoms in your mind. However, you manage to muster your strength and banish it from your mind.
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
Come to chaos!
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
At your beck and call.
Naturally.
Guided by faith!
It's a little odd.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
So what is my current objective? We need to stop it from exploding, but how? We can't attack her.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. If I may.
I've faced worse than this. It's as good as done. I'll see to it personally.
Probably not super great.
I won't object to it. Let's see to it. I won't object to it.
Heavy is the tread of his faithful.
Focus, Van Kellogg's. Focus.
Yeah, I'm guessing we have to focus down the Electro Priests.
Your record.
A tactically sound approach.
Well, that was super lame.
For the throne's glory.
I have read tomes of military tactics.
Alright, how do I handle this?
Who, if not me?
Nice, alright, that does buy us another turn. Fantastic.
Let's see to it. The Emperor is on our side.
Don't let your guard down.
I won't object to it. But of course, Lord Captain. Get me a target. Be gone.
Nice.
My vow is to serve.
I won't go down.
I'll save this until this guy gets a little closer.
Rejoice in battle! Faith without deeds is worthless.
Not an impressive amount of damage, but that's okay.
This is unacceptable.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. Request approved.
That's a pretty good hit. Good job, buddy.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable. Combat is an equation. Your life is a negligible variable.
I won't compromise my principles. I'll see to it personally.
I'm done with this one.
Oh man, Heinrichs is putting in some serious work. Huge fan of that build so far.
My vow is to serve.
Pascal's doing good work too. Glad I didn't swap to the arc rifle.
My place is at the fore. Reduced to dust! It will be done. Follow my lead.
Alright, I think we start pulling back to Aurora now, because Heinrichs will finish off the last Electro Priest, and...
I'll do it.
then I assume we fight her. Enough. Now an aged, rattling voice speaks to you from behind the bloodstained mask. You're powerless to halt the approach of what is to come. I see a crimson trail leading humanity to its doom. I see the glow of the final dawn. That means existence has made its choice. A dagger flashes in Aurora's hand. She drives it into the control panel with all her strength. Now you will see it too. A blinding voltaic arc bursts forth from the broken control panel and strikes at Aurora's uncanny mask. Its metal heats up. Smoke billows through the bars. With a howl, the cultist collapses. The light is gone. Was that it? The final dawn? But why was it so different from what our teacher promised? Aurora shakes her head blindly. Her voice is now the voice of an ordinary middle-aged woman, frightened and in pain. You'll pay for this. You will... You... The woman's body goes limp and collapses to the floor. Her iron mask hits the ground with a dull thud. Haskell examines the corpse with contempt, then concludes dryly, confirming purgation and termination. Heinrichs grimaces in disgust. The heretic took her secrets with her. Pity. The motley hues have rejected her, leaving only a grayish-green thread. The noose that the heretic put around her own neck. I've seen this many times before. No one can escape fear itself. Heinrichs approaches Aurora's body and leans over it. A minute, please, Donald. I need no more than a minute. Inspect the control panel damaged by Aurora. The cogitator is probably well beyond repair, but your attention is drawn away from the sacred machine and toward the dagger sticking out of the control panel. On closer inspection, it turns out to be the lavishly decorated handguard of a sword, whose blade has been pried out. Its palm was decorated with a strange adornment resembling an eye covered by a scaled lid. What remains of the blade has a blue sheen to it, the same tint as Conrad's weapon during the mutiny on your void ship. This is no human-made object. It was grown from wraithbone, a material favored by the Eldari. As you lean over the shard, you suddenly hear a multitude of voices. They blend together and individual words are distorted, as though they are mocking your attempts to grasp their meaning. The nagging whisper is like the burning red scratch of an unholy claw upon your mind. Heinrichs, take a look over here. Is this by any chance what you're looking for? Heinrichs raises his head, gets up, and makes a wry face as he carefully examines Aurora's weapon. This unholy object is the work of inhuman hands, and judging by the cold I am sensing, it is a tool of the archenemy. I'm most grateful for your vigilance, Donald. Heinrichs takes the strange shard out of the control panel and studies it for a few seconds. Curious, Heinrich stows the corrupted object away and turns to you. Rogue Trader, on behalf of the Holy Ordos, I thank you for your cooperation and release you from requisition. From this moment on, I'm at your service. I'm ready to come aboard your ship and head for Footfall as soon as you deem it possible. That is, if you do not have other business in this system, in which case I'm prepared to assist you in its prompt resolution. Remove Aurora's mask. The iron helmet is firmly attached to the heretic's flesh. Her face is impossible to make out in the darkness behind the bars of her mask, but after peering at it for a little longer than necessary, you wonder if, for a moment, you saw something move. Let us finish cleansing the monastery, Pascal. Executing. Let the Omnissiah-given motive force flow, and obstacles in its path be eradicated. Alright, I'm gonna call it here, and next time we will loot the bodies of everyone we just had to kill, and wrap up our business at the Cenobium, I think.
You are authorized.
I don't think we'll have any more fights here, so I'm not gonna worry about getting rid of that injury right now. No need to waste resources needlessly. Yeah. I'm gonna call it here. Next time we'll wrap up business here and return to the ship. So for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.